What is up, VIP crew? Chaz here with your weekly call, and I'm excited because we got some new faces on the call tonight. Literally like 20 minutes ago, went through and approved a bunch of new people. If you guys aren't aware by now, we are going to be closing down any entries to the VIP group after November 1st. We're just going to shut the door on it because I want to take this group as a whole. Really, whoever wants to do it, right? Because not everyone that signs up is going to be engaging. But we're going to take everyone in this group and really work with you guys to progress with your business. So that's kind of what the big update is there. And aside from that, if this is your first call, whether you're watching the recording or you're on live, all we do is hop on here every single Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'm currently working on a text message / email reminder system. So you guys can opt in and get a little like ping like 15 or 30 minutes before we start. I know that would help a lot of people out. So I'm working on that. And we get on here, we have a combination of guest speakers. Our guest speaker that was supposed to be tonight is going to be not next week, but the week after. So I'm excited for that one. Not going to say who it is. I always, little teasers like the day before is all you guys get. So we have a combination of guest speakers. Accountability is the biggest aspect of it. And then last but not least, we usually bring some type of topic to the table. Right now, getting into like the official Q4 swing, that's what a lot of the topics have been because it changes every single week. From the toys that we're looking at, the different categories that are going to do well, just where everybody's at with their business. That's usually a good mix of stuff. So this is going to be kind of open-ended mic night or chat if you don't want to use the actual mic. And we did have some topics in Facebook that I wanted to cover that were posted earlier. And where did I have those? All right, so let me get these pulled up for you. We'll just start with these questions that were on the thread earlier and just go from there. Daniel, Q4 is all that's on my mind. If Q4 is not on your mind, you're probably going to miss the wave. Like you need to be in Q4 mode right now. Crystal was asking about business models. I find there are so many ways to do things. It would be really cool to hear people's business models. I love the idea of using that as like home base for what tonight's going to be covering. So I'm going to switch this to speaker view. Hopefully. All right. There we go. I love that topic because we all have completely different business models. And especially when you're new, it's overwhelming because you sign up, you look at people that are doing the shoe hustle and quick flips. So you think that you want to try that out, but then you also look at, well, these guys do electronics and they do really well. And then there's clothing, lots of different options. I would love to kind of just go around and if you want to participate and unmute yourself, I'm trying to, no, we have the raise hand thing. We'll try using that. Right? Where am I seeing I actually don't have the raise hand thing on my admin side. You guys all have a little raise hand button, right?
I don't see it anymore. It used to be on the bottom.
Move it?
I know, I see it. It's on, you have to hit more on my screen for the tablet.
More.
And it says raise hand.
Okay, yeah, Jason's works. I see his.
Okay.
What in the world?
I have chat. I have record, participants, invite.
Yeah, I'm not seeing on mine. I got invite, participants, share screen, chat, and record.
That is
hit participants.
You don't have the three dots. If you click the three dots.
Oh, okay. On the bottom where it says participants with the number 25, click on that, and then there's mute me, and then raise hand.
Okay.
Okay.
They just took away the shortcut.
Gotcha. Okay, so that'll probably be the easiest way so everyone's not unmuting themselves at the same time. So either you can hit the raise hand button or you can just drop a comment in the chat that you want to participate in that topic too. And I think that'll be super helpful just to go around the table and get an idea of what everyone's doing because we all have completely different businesses here. And anyone who's new to here will learn real quick. I don't like this just to be like, YouTube live every week is fun and engaging, but I don't it sounds weird. I don't like talking to the camera the whole time. I like hearing from other people because we're all doing completely different things. I'm only one business, one way of doing things. We've got a group of several hundred people here that all rock what they are doing. So we'll just go around, and that's kind of the topic of the night is if you want to cover, I think it'd be helpful, especially for new people, cover what you started with. Like, did you branch out in multiple different categories? And then how did you discover what you were going to focus on and what's your business model look like? Are you quick flip, fast turnaround, low ROI? Are you doing mostly like antiques and collectibles, which might be higher end stuff that's more long tail? I would love to kind of just go around and hear from everybody. So I'll just start with the raised hands that I see. If you want to hit that little raise hand button, you can do that. And then I'll just call on you, or you can drop a comment in the chat, and I'll see your name there too. So Andre, do you want to tell us about what you do?
All right. Basically, quick little synopsis. I'm a full-time special ed teacher, but I got introduced to Amazon by a guy in Philly who taught me how to do wholesale. So I was doing a lot of trade shows, and then I came across your YouTube page, and then I got introduced to RA, OA, and I didn't really take it seriously until I met you in Denver. I met a bunch of people that's doing the same thing. And so since then, I've curtailed my wholesale biz and just really gone back, really just doing OA, since I really don't have a lot of time on the road. And plus, with me being in a major city, driving around to different stores, really don't work. So that's just really my business model. When I first started, I took a lot of losses like everybody else. And now, believe it or not, my second year into it, I'm starting to see a true profit month to month. So I'm basically an example of what it is to start with making up all the bad decisions, taking losses, using credit cards, and start my second LLC with the Amazon business. So that's really just also attend trade shows to get new accounts when I can. So that's really my basic business model there. So basically full-time teacher and part-time OA wholesale. Got it.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. And I'll just kind of go across the screen where I see him. Matt's I know his game. It's Peeps. That's the Peeps master.
Yep. Well, originally I got started in flipping things back when I was selling Lego sets. And my buddy told me about Amazon. I wasn't approved in Legos on Amazon, but one day I went to estate sale and happened to check up Polaroid cameras. Got really into Polaroid cameras there for a while. And then slowly one day I got on getting in groceries, and next thing you know, I'm selling Peeps left and right. I still got Peeps. I got about 30 packs still laying around here. But I sell Peeps year round. I could tell you a lot about everything else I do, but we'd be here till about midnight.
So with if you were to describe your main business model, you do a lot of like seasonal stuff. You'll buy stuff when it goes on clearance post-season, right?
Right. I do 90% of my is post-season holiday stuff. And then I also do a lot of closeouts. Like I got a store here named Ollie's that I can buy a lot of closeouts.
I don't want to talk about it.
I got about 2,000 of these right now. I got a pack.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But
that's such a great business model to have too. That's kind of one I'm really starting to get into, is the post-seasonal stuff. And after Christmas is done, we're definitely going to talk a lot more about that, because that's when we see, especially candy canes. Like, man, you guys, I know Matt does, you guys can crush the candy cane game. So we're going to talk a lot about that once we get there after Christmas.
Yeah, candy corn.
Candy corn. Yep.
Candy corn.
It's coming. Awesome, man. Thank you. And Tommy.
Hey, what's up? So my business is it's split between probably 15 to 20% eBay and the rest Amazon. And for eBay, it's mainly thrifted and yard sales. I love hitting yard sales. It's just fun, and I do a lot of antique, actually basically anything I can flip, it's all over the board for eBay. And then for Amazon, it is almost exclusively wholesale. And I really focus on like the toys and games category. And I don't necessarily go for the quick flips. Obviously, rank is a concern, but I'm happy going up to ranks that are, $1 million, when some people would shy away from that. If I can get the ROI that I'm looking for, I'll go all over the board. So that's mainly what I do.
Awesome, man. And then next I see is Mr. Martin.
Sorry, I was doing an eBay listing.
At least you're working.
Yeah. My business, I started doing this e-commerce flipping about a year ago. I actually started with drop shipping. As far as I know, I think I'm pretty much the only person that's active in this group that is a drop shipper. So I know it's not a business model for everybody, and if I knew now what I knew then, it wouldn't be a business model for me. But I've kind of hooked my wagon to it, and I'm doing it right now. But I found Chaz's web or YouTube channel when I was looking into bulk wholesale bulk pallets. I found your bulk pallet videos,
old school stuff,
which isn't up anymore apparently.
When it was still okay to do, that's why I took them down.
Yeah, and the first time I watched your videos, I mean, I had to Google FBA because I didn't know what you were talking about. And now I'm probably about 50-50 Amazon and eBay. I have a second eBay account, which is just for my finds that I ship out myself, whether it's RA, OA, garage sales, yard sales. And then I have my dirty drop shipping account off to the side, which I still service on a daily basis, and it makes a little money, but I definitely want to get out of that eventually. I'm right with Matt talking about candy corn. I've been looking at it almost every day, checking expiration dates, like finding the stuff that doesn't expire for a long time. I'm all about it. So I got some at it on a really good price before Halloween, and I sold out of it. But now all the stores have raised their prices up, and there's no profit. But I'm just waiting for that 90% off Halloween candy. I'm going to buy cases. I want to be selling that stuff through Easter. And that's pretty much my business model in a nutshell right now.
Awesome, man. And I see, what was the nickname we came up with for Mark?
Guy in the bed. Duh.
Was that it? Just guy in the bed? Okay. Well, we talked about having a Funko Pop because he's always laying in his bed. Mark, how's your business model? What's it look like?
So I started in November, just kind of doing the Walmart clearance aisles, watching everything tank. That was fun. And then now I'm up to 1,100 SKUs, mainly clothing, mainly kids clothing is kind of where my focus is at. Thanks to Chris Anderson, some bras too, but mainly kids clothing. Started with $100, have grown it. None of my own money really is in the business. We've grown our business that way, which I suggest to anybody who's getting started. Just start with $100, whatever money you make, just keep, reinvesting in the business. Luckily, I have a full-time job. I order cars for a Hyundai dealership. My wife's a CPA, so we have good money on that side. So it's just, I am fortunate that I can reinvest my money in my business. Eventually, I want to get to the point where I can do it full-time. But, right now, I think, by my estimates, I'm going to need about 80 to 90,000 in inventory to make the income I want to make before I can quit. But just keep working, scan everything. Doesn't matter what store you're in. And use every opportunity that you're in a store to try and find something. We went to Target to get something for my daughter tonight and ended up picking up like $300 for the stuff, just walking around. So just keep scanning and be open to anything. I've bought some stuff that I would never buy before and, sold right away. So
awesome. Yeah. And you do sell, you don't really gravitate towards like one category. You have a lot of variety of stuff you do.
Yeah. I mean, I've sold everything from breast pumps to baby clothes to Funkos to air conditioners, clothing. Yeah. If I can make money on it, I'm not too picky.
Awesome. I love it. I'm pretty much the same way there. All right, and then Mr. Jason.
Hey, so real quick question.
You outsourcing?
I am outsourcing.
That's awesome.
There's this beautiful bunch of Tommy Bahama here. but they are $8. So the basic ones are not worth. I'm not gonna pick those up. But look at this. Has anybody ever seen that? It's a Tommy Bahama with a dragon. I don't know what it is, and I'm trying to figure out if it's worth picking up.
Usually anything dragon does pretty well.
I know. I mean, it's not on the clothing, but it's just on there. Anyway,
I would definitely buy that.
I'm gonna buy it. All right.
I sold a random.
I would definitely risk that.
I sold a random dragon shirt that had like green flames and it was like green dragons. It was like a no-name brand shirt, really, really thin, and it sold for $20 in 2 weeks.
Nice.
But
I'm hoping it's worth something.
But so there's no risk, but it was really, really worth getting sold really quick. So probably Bahama, probably get $40-$50 for it, probably easily. Probably if I had to guess. I'm not huge into that, but it's just a good guess.
You can get about $20 for a basic one. So anyway, so this is what I am primarily doing is working on clothes. That's what I got started in. Started by going to where I lived at the time. We had a store that had dollar days. So I would go pretty much buy everything they had for $1, which was great during like spring because I got a bunch of coats and then resold them the next winter for $1. Made quite a bit doing that. And still doing mainly clothes, but still trying to pick up some other stuff when I can.
Outstanding. I was trying to see if Crystal was on here, actually, since she asked the question. Crystal, are you on here by chance?
She's not here. She messaged me.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of
She's at the hospital. So.
Oh, no.
I know. She said she's sorry, but just tell her.
She doesn't be sorry for being at the hospital. I'll message her.
She said, tell everybody that I know what you've gone through already. She'll be really appreciative.
Okay. Awesome. Where did I see? Nathan, there you are.
So, I guess with me, like I'm always hustled stuff and, was real knowledgeable about different items and stuff like that. But I got hurt at work and then I started, selling on, on eBay and stuff like that. And, I guess I started off with like clothes and electronics and stuff like that. And then basically anything that I see that I can make $1 on that I think will move pretty quickly because I don't have a lot of money to be able to just kind of sit on stuff and get top dollar for all the time. So a lot of times I'll put best offer knowing that a lot of people, they'll intentionally, try to get you down on the low she'll take for things and stuff like that. So my model is mostly like a quick flip. Well, not really quick flip, but, something to make, make my money, something I'm happy for, and, just keep going, keep adding to the pile. And I haven't got to the point where I'm getting a death pile or anything like that because things are pretty, running pretty smooth and stuff like that. So, but this is my first Q4. So like, I don't know what to expect on some things or whatnot, but so far so good on what stuff I did get and stuff like that.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to share what their business models are, like their history with choosing whether you have like a specific niche or category? So I'll share a little bit about mine. I definitely lean, like my meat and potatoes of our business has always been quick flips. I shouldn't say always been. It turned into quick flips because in the beginning, I think the biggest mistake I was making, especially when I was new, I really didn't have much experience. I was trying to get top dollar for every single product, and especially on the Amazon side, because you guys probably know by now, Amazon, eBay, completely different markets. Some stuff crosses over when you get into like hot toy, high demand items, electronics can cross over. But in general, Amazon is going to be a much lower ROI ball game than what eBay is going to be. eBay, you're not going to do like 20, 30% margins typically, or ROI. You're not going to be doing these quick 20% ROI flips on eBay. You're going to try to at least double your money, if not triple or quadruple it, right? Some people go for 5x or 6x their money on eBay. Amazon's a little bit of a different world, because you're focusing primarily on new in the box stuff, which can be retail arbitrage. Wholesale is going to be slim margins, but you're going for volume. And I used to make the mistake of wanting to double my money on every single product on Amazon. And what I would do is I would send it into Amazon. I would price it at what I needed to price it at in order for me to double my money. I would spend all my capital, and then I'd be stuck in a position of no capital to source. And I'd be sitting around waiting for my stuff to sell, doing the same thing we all do. I'd sit here and just refresh. Then 5 minutes goes by and I'd refresh. And I'm like, why don't I have any sales? And I was holding out for too long. And then I would end up hitting a lot of price tanking because I never cashed out. And then I'd be stuck with a lot of stuff. So then I started to transition to a business model of, I'm okay with taking 20 or 30% ROI if it's going to speed stuff up. I'm going to screenshot my repricer. I use inform.co. Well, App Eagle. I don't know why they changed their name. It was such a cool name. So App Eagle is the repricer that I use. And I recently just adjusted it from a 30% down to a 20% margin. And my buy box percentage went from about 8% to over 20%. And I have had awesome sales the last like 4 or 5 days since I made that switch. So that's a prime example of learning to be okay with a lower ROI in your business model, because you're able to turn stuff faster. That creates cash flow that you can go, then you source more, and then you're able to go and ship more in. On the Amazon side, eBay's a little different. Especially with Amazon, you have to wait that 2-week period in order to get your deposits typically. So I've learned to become such a huge fan of that business model, but there is always room to have those longer tail flips that are going to give you a lot bigger of a return. So for example, if we're talking about hot toys, we've got these twisty pets, these little bracelets we're all sniping right now. We're starting to see that the unicorns are probably going to be some of the best ones. There's a lot of the unicorn ones that are priced over $25 and they're only $6 to buy. So what you can do in that case is you can flip them now, but we already know those are going to be really high demand. And once supply runs out, I'm willing to bet, and it's still a little early, but I'm willing to bet anyone who has seen hot toys year after year, something always happens after Black Friday. Demand goes up because the supply goes down, and I think the unicorns are probably going to be the first ones to peak over $35 to $40 price point. I can definitely see those heading that route. So if you wanted to buy the unicorn stuff, hold out now. That's considered a longer tail item because you have to wait another month for that price spike to happen. If it does, it's still a little bit too early to determine if it's really going to work or not right now. So that's kind of like my personal take on like the business model thing. Is the goal is for me to have a quick flip business model, because I want to sell stuff every single day. I want to have positive cash flow every single day, even if it's a 20% ROI. If you look at the big dogs in the game, the guys who are doing 5 million, 10 million, 20 million a year in wholesale, these guys, if you have them run their numbers at the end of the day, after all expenses, they're usually running between 15 and 20% margin. So, and most people would never go that low, but they have such a high volume, fast selling rate business model. And then other people don't like that. They would rather do high-end, high-ticket items on eBay, and they only need to make one sale a week. And some of these guys will do like high-end shoes, for example, and they'll flip sneakers that are worth $200 or more. They only need to flip 3 or 4 pair a week for them to make a decent amount of income. So that's kind of the deal with business models. There's no right one to choose because you've got millionaire sellers in each one. I'm a big believer in blending them both if you can, but you've got to lean one way or the other. And that's not something that anyone can tell you which way to go. I get a lot of phone calls from newcomers that are fresh into the reselling world. They're like, what kind of business should I run? I don't know. I don't know your market. I don't know your area. I don't know what you like, what you don't like, how you're going to be running your business. It's all something that comes with time. So it took me a little bit to really get my flow with it. Somebody asked let me scroll up a little bit. what was the name of the repricer? It's called informed.co, .co. If you just go appeagle.com, it still forwards to the new address. I think we have I'm so bad with affiliate crap. Like, I'm not a marketer, so I'm never like shoving affiliates at you guys every day. I think we have an affiliate with them. Let me double check. Usually with our affiliates, I try to get you guys value out of it. So like, 30-day trial or some type of discount or something like that. I haven't plugged that one in a while, so I need to double check what we have with them.
If anybody's wondering, this is what one of my arches looks like after it's been out in the rain for 4 days.
Oh my gosh. And if you guys don't know, Jason made all of those. That's a balloon arch.
You can see what it looks like when it's new on Ed Inflated Hero on Instagram.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, if you guys check out his stuff, it's pretty awesome. Okay, so we got the repricer name. Gretchen said unicorn's a lit from a 6-year-old girl mom. That's where you're going to get your best info from, is children or like early teens.
Is this the point when we discuss Poopsie the unicorn?
Poopsie the unicorn. I still have not found any of them.
Okay.
Are you talking about the big one or the little ones?
The big one. All the dance moms, I can tell you guys right now, like they're already going wild for it and like hunting them down and looking for them. And I haven't told them what I do because they will all hate me for life. But
so are you talking about like
everybody is going nuts. It's the unicorn. Oh God. It's the end of humanity. The unicorn has slime in its stomach and it poops rainbow slime.
Okay.
And it's called Poopsie. Yeah. So most of what I found so far are just like, it's like a refill cartridge and it's a roll of toilet paper. But I haven't found the actual Poopsie yet. But yeah, like when the parents are already going out and buying this stuff at Walmart and like hoarding it for their friends, it's going to be big.
Especially this early in the game, if they're already freaking out about stuff, that's what we need to be buying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I quote, was like, yeah, I don't need to be buying it from some person on eBay and spending 3 times the retail value on it.
I love that.
So, yeah, I'm silently sitting there going, this is how I pay my dance bill. But okay.
Martin asked, I asked this last night on YouTube, but I think you missed it. What's the square footage of your current office warehouse? I mentioned this before we hit record, but if anyone missed it, we've got 1,000 square feet down here, and then we've got a 500 square foot loft. So for the 1,500 square feet combined, we pay $1,000. And then we have our retail space, which we're on a trial with this. So we don't have to pay rent on that yet, but that will be another $500 if we choose to keep it.
Did you have your first weekend of retail this weekend?
We did last weekend, and we haven't. We thought we would have our big our store banner made to put up in front of the door, and it turns out they took a week later than what we thought, so we didn't have any signage, but we still made a couple $100, so it was not bad for a start.
Yeah.
We did the math. We need to do about 1,000 per month out of that storefront to make sense to keep it, because we know we're going to need about 500 for rent. Trista, it's primarily used women's clothing, which is, Trista's like baby. That's her, that storefront is hers. So she's doing primarily used clothing, which she determined she's going to need about $400 a month to keep producing more inventory every week. And then just an extra $100 for supplies or anything that she might need in there. So we came up with that number of 1,000 a month, just as kind of our baseline. We just got our banner in. It's around here somewhere. It's over on the table. I'm not going to unroll it. But we got our banner in. So we have a big signage to put above the door. We got a sandwich board we're going to do up real nice and put it out front. The hard part we're seeing already is we are 2 blocks, and we have small blocks. They're not big. We're 2 blocks away from the main downtown area. So we don't have foot traffic. So we need to figure out a way to get awareness so people will walk the extra 2 blocks, or they can drive down here and park. So we've got some stuff we're going to be working on. Hosting, we're going to partner with a winery and host a little wine tasting event in there and different stuff like that. once we get the awareness, it's going to take some time, but once we get the awareness, it should turn out pretty good. I'm curious about these poopsies now. I think, yeah, that's the one I was thinking about. Yeah, it's funny. I see people picking these things up everywhere, and they've just been sold. I haven't been looking for these specifically, so I'm sure I've missed a ton, but I've actually been hitting Target for the first time ever. I've been hitting Target way more than I've been hitting Walmart. Usually I'm a Walmart fiend, and I've only been going to a few Walmarts the last couple weeks. But yeah, those ones, because Target doesn't carry those ones, right? It's just the Walmart. I might be wrong.
Sorry, I'm clicking around. I had to come back.
Target has them.
Oh,
Target does? They're $10 more.
Dolls with that Walmart don't have.
Shocked. I have not seen one of those. I've been in a lot of Targets.
Yeah, Target, you have to look up. They're in the same aisle as the LOLs.
Yeah, I've seen the small ones, like the regular ones, but I've not found those unicorn ones yet.
They're bigger.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to, then again, I haven't done any retail in like a week. I'm going to have to get out there and do some.
Yeah, I posted a link so you'll know what to look for. It looks like a can of paint.
Awesome. And then Matt posted that BrickSeek link in there. I just copied and pasted that into my notepad. Yeah, Chaz will stand on the road swinging a sign. You bet your ass. I worked at Quiznos for 3 years as my first job, and I was a sign swinger. That's a little random fact.
I finally found some Twisty Pets yesterday when I was going for the Funko Pop Infinity War Chrome ones. I found those.
Did anyone find those yet?
Yeah, I did. I found at 2 stores. The first store had them out, and the second one had it. It's in a display. So if you're having them look and it's not there, it's in the back. Tell them to look for a display.
Okay.
Because they showed up on BrickSeek last night. I went after work at 4:30 because I work 8 o'clock till 4:30 in the morning. So I go straight to Walmart usually after my shift because then I usually get the best chance for them to actually look for stuff and get stuff and stuff like that. So I went there. They're like, we see 8 of them in our inventory. And I'm like, yeah, I know you got 8 of them here. But I didn't tell them how I knew. But they're like, when you bought them at the other store, was it on the display? And I says, yeah. So they went to the display, and I already bought at my local store all the ones but the purple ones. So I just had a little bit of money on me because I've been going so hard on the toys that my money got dried up. So I went this weekend, I went and grabbed my normal clothes and stuff like that. But anyway, so I grabbed 4 purples out of the 8 that they had. And what's it called? She's like, how did you know we had these? I didn't even know they're there. I said, I get emails from stores or something. I just made up something like to make it sound like I wasn't some crazy reseller, because how people think badly of us because we upcharge for everything. So, but after work tonight, I'm gonna check and see how many more they have left because I just got paid and because I just started working again. I was on comp for 3 months and I'm gonna go grab the rest of they had. They had Twisties up there. They had the Poopsies up there. Like they were fully loaded, and I had like $50 left on me. So I grabbed the Funkos or whatever. So I'm gonna go back up there tonight and just grab whatever I should get. But you guys said the unicorn Twisty Pets was what I should.
Yeah, anything unicorn with Twisty Pets. Okay. Certain ones are getting close to $30 range. I sold one for $27.95. I don't remember. They all have different freaking names. There's like 1,000 of them. I don't remember what the exact name was, but any of the unicorn ones are going to do really well.
Because I was looking at BrickSeek at all the Walmarts and stuff in my area. There's nothing. But then I walked past them looking for the Funko yesterday, and I seen my first display I've ever seen. So I hope nobody really knows, or it just seems like no one resells that in that area or whatever, because they had everything. I'm talking like 20 of the Poopsies, a whole display of Twisty Pets. Gosh. They had all the Funkos because all that wasn't out yet because I hit them before they put them out. But they had everything.
That's the store to make some friends with right there.
Hey, do we have a list going already of this kind of stuff, or?
Yeah, we do. I posted the Twisty Pet BrickSeek links in the group files, and I have the second half of the list I'm almost done with. I'm going to update it. Most likely going to be tonight. I'll update the final half.
Thank you. And what was that? The Poopsies?
They're
What was
called
that one? I'm sorry.
Poopsies. Poopsies.
That's the actual like brand name, right?
Yep, sure is.
So funny.
When are tea parties and like beautiful cakes gonna come into style? Because that I can get on board with.
Not the
Freaking
unicorn poops. It's so funny. Like we've seen
And
such a
it's slime.
it is slime. We've seen such a shift already, because I remember when like the very, very beginning of Q4 was even in sight, I thought it was going to be like the Fugglers and Ugly Monsters and stuff like that. What's the Walmart one called? They've got like one of those Walmart ugly monster looking dolls. I thought that's what was going to be it. And then Twisty Pets hit, and that became like and then of course the Poopsies, and now like we're starting to see which stuff is gonna do well. Oh man.
Glitter, unicorns, rainbows.
You can't apply to sell it either. I've actually not looked up on my own account, so I'll have to check that out. It might be that the brand is going to be knuckling down on that listing. We'll see. That's the other part. That's probably the hardest part about focusing on the high demand hot toy stuff. IP claims, brand restriction, all that kind of stuff can happen at any time, and it's part of the risk. So if you are not a risk taker and you want 100% safety on your account, you should probably just not play that ball game. But as long as you have your receipts in order and Amazon comes at you, I think that was actually, let me scroll back to Facebook. I think that was actually one of the topics that was brought up. IP claims, how to handle them, how to know when they are legitimate, a list of companies to stay away from. Tommy, I love that idea of having a document in the group files that is going to be a list of known brands that send out IPs. I definitely want to implement that. But yeah, IP claims, when you get one, it's going to be a couple different ways. One, if Amazon directly messages you and says, they'll have their whole long IP claim against you, you need to get off the listing, give them the receipt that they're asking for, and just don't sell that again, because it's coming from Amazon. They don't mess around. So don't play with that. If it is through the Amazon messaging system, but it's from the brand, then you'll see like, what was starts with law something. Anyways, you'll see a custom email with that brand that will send you the IP claim asking you're not an authorized reseller of the product. You can't sell that product on Amazon. Typically, you can ignore it and you'll be fine, because it's against TOS for them to even message you through Amazon. They're supposed to go to Amazon first, and then Amazon messages you. That's how it's supposed to work. None of these companies like to do it that way. They just want to use scare tactics. So if they do reach out to you, what you can do, this is a fun little one. I have not had success with it yet, but if anyone does have success doing this method, I'd be super happy to hear about it. If a brand ever messages you and asks you to stop selling their product because you're not an authorized reseller, ask them what it takes to become an authorized reseller. I've heard of people that get wholesale accounts by doing that. So that's one little method to do. Either way, Amazon's going to ask for proof of purchase, invoices, receipts. What you can do is write on the receipt the ASIN that was attached to it. And especially if you use the same credit card that you bought it from the store, and that's the same one that's on file with Amazon, that's a really big benefit too. They really just want to see proof of purchase, especially from an authorized retailer too. So that gets into what I started doing recently is anything that I buy from Ross, Burlington, or TJ Maxx, I am taking a photo of the product. Typically the product will have the barcode with it. So I put the receipt next to the barcode and I take a photo, and then I put the receipt next to the product and I take a photo. Because if I ever need to prove authenticity on a product bought from Ross, Burlington, or TJ Maxx, their receipts do not clearly state sometimes what the product is. They don't have a UPC. They have their own store code. So you want to make sure you can prove that you bought it from a store because those receipts are going to be tough to fight with. I've never had experience with IP claims or heard anyone getting IP claims from and fighting them with those types of receipts. But if anyone has, I'd love to hear about that. So IP claims, that's really all you can do is fight it with the receipt. That's why you want to make sure that you are no longer flipping products on Amazon. This is just what I recommend. There's thousands of sellers out there that are still selling new products without receipts, and they're getting away with it fine. Again, it's all about risk tolerance. If you want to be on the safe side, do not sell anything under new condition unless you have proof of purchase to go with it. Ideally, you want the UPC on the receipt to match what the UPC is on the product. So that's why I no longer recommend, even though we've done videos in the past, but those are 2 years old and Amazon was not the Amazon it is now. We've done garage sale flips on Amazon for years, but then we stopped doing that within the last 6 months. I will only sell things under a used condition, or just throw it up on eBay. eBay is such a great platform to sell on. And I came from the mentality of, if I can't sell it on Amazon, I'm not selling it at all, because I thought eBay was a pain in the ass. But I learned, especially getting closer to Q4 sales season after Black Friday, between Black Friday and that second week in December, even up through the third week of December, there's still awesome sales going on right before that Christmas day. eBay is just as good as Amazon with a lot of stuff, especially toys. Last year, people were selling fingerlings for $45, $50 on eBay, the same way that they were on Amazon. So if you have any hesitation on sending any product into Amazon for whatever reason, or if you scan something that's a hot toy is worth money, but it's restricted on Amazon, use eBay, use Mercari, sell it locally. There's all kinds of different other platforms you can sell on, because you are literally going to leave money on the table if you do not maximize how many platforms you're able to utilize. So that's just based on the mistakes I made. My first 2 Q4s, I was not selling on eBay at all. Trista was selling clothing, but I despised eBay. If anyone's been following our content for a few years, you remember videos where I talk about how I just don't like eBay. But now I cross-check both. So even now with Twisty Pets, I'm starting to keep an eye on eBay listings to see when those are going to creep up too. Tommy said I had an IP claim and I couldn't get it removed even with the receipt from Walmart. I've gotten everyone removed except for one. Yeah, and you guys, one IP claim is not going to suspend you. The word IP claim it's going to scare the crap out of you more than it is going to negatively affect you. If you've got multiple IP claims coming in, that's when you can get suspended. That's when bad stuff can happen. But like Tommy said, he's got an IP claim. I've still got an IP claim against me on mine. You move on. So as long as you're able to fight them with receipts the best that you can. And I'm going to work on, I think a great guest speaker I have a couple people in mind I'm going to bring in as guest speakers to talk on that subject, because they deal with that stuff. So I'm going to work on getting someone in here for that, especially going into the season. I think
sorry,
yeah, you're good.
I was going to say, right now might also be an interesting time to shop eBay to flip to Amazon, or to shop and hold and then post it back up in another couple weeks.
Yep, 100%. Especially you can do that same method when Amazon comes in stock. Not so much, you can do it right now if you want to buy and hold, but you'll see it usually in December. Amazon's going to come in stock, let's say on Twisty Pets. Everyone's going to freak out because now Amazon just tanked the price and blah, blah, blah. But what you can do as a reseller is go buy their stock. You can go buy, they'll probably have a limit. So, like a 2 or 3 limit. Buy 2, buy 3, and then repeat that. Not in the same day. Some people do it fine. But, every day if they're still in stock, just buy a few more, buy a few more. You're not the only reseller doing that. So they're going to run out of stock. And you just got those things, were they $5.99, $5.98, something like that. $6 each. You're going to be able to collect those from Amazon themselves and then send them back into FBA when they run out of stock.
How deep would you go into something like on that right now?
Right now, not terribly deep, because even though it is looking really good, it's still early in the game. October 24th. So I'm really going to say, I'm just looking at my calendar. Like, I think mid-November, especially getting closer to that Black Friday, we're going to really kind of see the trend. And we might be dead wrong. These Twisty Pets just might flop after Black Friday. Like, that's the part about Q4 that is unknown. Not one person. You can go pay a coach $5,000 right now, and they'll tell you, like, go in on this toy right here. This is it. Like, no one knows. So I personally, I think I've sent in at least 50 or 60 of them right now. I'll go about 100 deep on something right now because they're such a cheap buy cost. But something like Rapples, where those are $15 each instead of $6, I'm not going to send in 100 Rapples just because I think they might do good. I'm going to wait until I see a little more trend happening before I go deep on anything. But I also learned, based on my fingerling experience last year, I'm not going that deep on any of them. I've still got 150 of those stupid things up there. So that's
Fingerlings they had a 2-year cycle. Like, they were actually really big 2 years in a row. Do you think they'll be big this year?
I don't think they will because they came out with so much crap. It's the same thing as LOL. LOL, they have a few things that are looking promising, right? They've got like the bigger surprise, that big one that came out. So they've got a few things that might do well, but LOL made the mistake of it's all supply and demand. Last year, they dropped, one type of ball. Everyone freaked out to go get it, and you were able to resell these things for like $25 for one, right? I think some of them even went past $25 at some point. But then, they came out with like the Series 1, and they came out with the Pets edition. They came out with the Glitter Bomb edition or whatever it was called. And then this year, it's like they did the same thing Fingerlings did and the same thing Hatchimals did. They think they're not going to be the hot toy this year. So what they do is they come out with 10 or 20 different SKUs of crap. And they oversaturate their own brand. So that's why I don't think any of the Fingerlings, and I should take that back. I haven't researched it enough or put any energy into Fingerlings to know if there's any of them that are going to be worth it. There might be. So if anyone here is keeping an eye on those, and pretty much all ears for that.
So back when I was a kid, I did Beanie Babies for the. I actually resold during the Beanie Baby craze, and I remember they killed themselves the same way by retiring all of their old stuff and then putting out completely new stuff.
Yep. Daniel said Rapples Luna flat ears goes for $26 right now. So that is the one I am trying to look for. It's the white one with kind of the rainbow. It's got the flat ears. Those ones are doing really well right now. Amazon's on a lot of the Rapple listings, but the demand is there. So the second that it's out of stock, prices are going to go well over 25. And I think when somebody asked if we think that all of them are going to be going up in price, as far as the Rapples, the Twisty Pets, are they all going to be worth flipping or just a few? I think they will all be worth flipping, but a few of them, like the unicorns or the Lunas, are going to be worth the big bucks. It's the same thing as Fingerlings last year. Even the crappy ones, like no one wanted the pink ones or the purple ones. But because they didn't want to pay extra for the really good ones, which were like the black, the blue, the unicorn, the sloth, they would buy the crappy ones and you would still make like a $10 or $15 profit. So I think right now where we sit, there's going to be some profit in all of them, but we'll just see.
People get desperate too. Like the more close you get to Christmas, it's like, oh, they're just going to have to settle. They're going to have to take this pink or purple one.
Yeah, for sure.
My store, my Walmart store seems like it's like I could tell like how things are going to be or whatever. And Fingerlings it looks like not one sold at all, and everything else like of the hotter stuff like LOL. There's some stuff like the JoJo stuff is completely gone except for some of the like extra stuff, not the clothes, but like maybe the candy shop. There'll be one there or two there, and then it's gone. And then some of the other stuff, there might be a couple there, but I'm starting to pick up on what's, because it just keeps going because I keep going to the same like by my work, there's like 3 Walmarts. They're like a 5 or 10 minute drive. So like after work every day, I go to one or whatever, and then I go to my local one when I'm before work. So just to kind of see what's around, and plus I have to do my own personal shopping and stuff. So kind of getting a feel of what is going to be hot in my own way, just by seeing what the inventories of all these places. But the one that I went to yesterday, if I had $3,000 or $2,000 in my pocket, I'd have been done probably Q4 shopping with all the poopsie things and the twisties. Like I'd probably grab the whole shelf and just ran out of there.
The fact that you got all those Walmarts so close to you is awesome. Ron said we don't have a single twisty pet in a 50-mile range. Ron, are you going based on the BrickSeek link? Because that's one thing I did want to bring up is I even checked BrickSeek links on my own area, and most of them still say sold out when I know for a fact that they're in there because I've been picking them up. And a couple of the managers I work with know that they're there too. They're putting them out. I think what's happening is the stores are just not registering them into their system for inventory. I'm not sure 100%, but I do know that their inventory count have not been accurate with those. So if you're questioning if something's in your store but BrickSeek says 0, go in anyways. And if you don't find anything, ask an employee. If you've got the UPC, which BrickSeek will give you the UPC, don't show the employees BrickSeek, but you'll give them the UPC number, and they can check that, and they might have some in the back. Knowing which employees you're working with, because some of them are a-holes. They don't want to work with you. They don't want to go in the back and check.
So the 3 stores that I started at, I looked through the whole entire toy section. I didn't see anything. The fourth toy section, I finally found an empty Twisty Pet, and I found the employee, and I was talking to her and asked, "It's like, do you have any more Twisty Pets?" He goes, "Well, we only had one display, and that got bought out right away, and I don't know when we'll have more in." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, there's not even places on like the shelves and stuff for them, except for the one I seen yesterday in my area. Like there's none. Yeah, but also like I've seen stuff that their inventory said they had 8 of, and then they had none of, unless it was a display that I didn't think they would have a JoJo closed display maybe hidden in the back for Black Friday. That might have been the issue I had the other day when I like was about to freak out at the people at the one Walmart I went to and drove an hour and a half to go to get JoJo closed for. So that I bet you that was the case, because they said that they looked in their bins and stuff like that, but they have displays that have the products like built into them or whatever, or like pre-built or hidden packages inside those. So I bet you that's what those. I'm gonna have to check that. I'll have to go back there and ask them.
They did the same thing with the fingerlings last year. I had a couple of the managers that would I'd hit them up, say, "Hey, I need to get some of these," and they're like, "We can't." Like he told me, and the same thing happened with Hatchimals a year before that. They will hold stuff back. Certain stores, they'll hold stuff back for Black Friday. So they might, like last year, one of the stores I was talking to, went in for fingerlings, asked them if they had them, gave them a UPC, and they checked, and they're like, "Well, we have them, but we're not allowed to put them out until Black Friday." And I was like, "Well, how many do you have?" And she had like 40 of them. And this one store did not put a single fingerling out, I kid you not, for 6 weeks. They held on to their 40 fingerlings. And I went in, and sure enough, I saw everyone flying out the shelf with them. Too funny. Oh, nice. Martin scored 2 poopsies. That must have just been here in town. That's awesome. Get that money.
Yeah, I got 2 poopsies at that store that I didn't find the JoJo clothes at or whatever, so it wasn't a total loss when I went there. But
yeah,
still would have been nice picking up 15, like 8 of the one and 7 of the other one that was there. I would have killed it with the dolls I had already.
Yeah. Jeremy asks, "What do you think of the Funko cereal that came out?" Yes. Especially Golden Girls. That thing is crazy fire. I just sent in, I ended up scoring 7 of the Buddy Elf, so I sent those in. I'm pricing mine really high because knowing Funko, they're not going to replen these. Even if they do, it's not going to be a lot. I don't think Funko made a lot of these. So I priced mine high, and I'm going to be one of those a-holes that cashes out at a stupid price right before Christmas. Yeah, Best Buy. That was another one I wanted to bring up too. Best Buy, I just went to a couple days ago, stopping at Best Buy. They do have Twisty Pets as well. I actually went to 2 Best Buys. One of them only had the 4-packs, and then the other one only had the singles. So you might see it vary store by store.
Subway and one other stuff.
So, real quick. Oh, sorry.
What you got, Jason?
So, what do you guys, have you seen this stuff yet? I'm trying to decide on it. It's $488, and right now it's $950 on Amazon.
I've not seen that yet.
500,000 rank in toys, though. I can't remember if that's good or not in toys.
I mean, technically it's not great, but it's probably a new listing, which is why. So if it's a brand new listing and it's already got a rank, that's a good sign because it's already selling. And that's one of those ones that I'd be curious if anyone looks up Keepa. It will show you how long the listing has been live. So if you look that up on Keepa and it's a brand new listing, I mean, do what I've been doing. This is what I've been doing for 6 weeks. I just buy like 2 or 3 of them and send them in. If they sell, buy a couple more, send them in, and then price them higher. And that's how I do my test buys. I just creep up the price each time, and I kind of find that sweet spot.
Right.
Yeah, Funko cereals, they're not going to be in like the main cereal aisle. They're going to be 2 places. One is if you go in Target, Funkos are always located by the TVs in the very back of the electronics area. They're either going to be next to those Funkos or they will have their own display. This is how mine were set up. They'll have their own display on the end cap of a toy aisle is what they'll do. Saul said his have all been at the electronics counter. Yeah, so they probably know that's a pretty high demand area. Certain areas are going to be way more. There's going to be tons of sellers in some areas. Like we were just down in, Christine got limit of 2 on them. So we were just down in Eugene. Any of you locals know where Eugene's at? And they have 3 Targets down there. I walked into one of them like, hey, do you guys happen to have any of the Funko cereals in? And he literally laughed. And he's like, no. There was a line of 30 people out the door that morning. And I was like, holy crap. I walked into ours at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and I bought one store. I got 3 of them. And then that guy brought out a case pack because he hadn't brought them out yet. So I got 3 there. And then the next store at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon, casually strolled in, and the 4 boxes were sitting there. I'm like, all right, we're sitting all 4. So if you have a high reseller demand area, I think you're definitely going to have lower limits on purchase quantities, and you're probably going to have stuff that's either behind the counter or in the back. Because stores, I mean, they're smart. They know if they got resellers in there. There you go. Pablo said, when you go to a store, tell the employee they sent you from another store because you were told that they have an item in stock. That is super smart to try out. I have not tried that one yet.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Way smart on that, Pablo. All right, crew, we are at our hour mark. So thank you all for tuning in. If you have any last minute questions, now is the time to drop those in the chat or unmute yourself. Martin asked, did anyone get self-conscious cleaning out a shelf?
Nope.
Not anymore. In the beginning, I used to do the
positive.
same thing everyone else does. I used to try to hide when I was scanning, make sure there's no one around, and I would feel bad if I cleared a shelf because what if the children want some of these too? But like, you know what? They're still going to children. They just got to pay up on them on Amazon.
You know what my girl was saying, like I took her thrifting, or not thrifting, but RA with me, and she kept saying around people that we're donating the toys to like for Toys for Tots or something like that, so people wouldn't think we're like assholes.
That's tough. And he said, does anyone advertise their product to drive traffic? I know that, I don't think AJ's on here tonight, but AJ did that with his PS4 flips that he did. I'm assuming what you mean is running it like a Facebook ad and driving traffic to a specific product. you can do that absolutely. I've not personally messed around with it, but if you've got something that's worth it, like in AJ's case, he can. I don't think he's on here. No.
He's getting married tomorrow, so he's
Oh,
not
that's right.
here.
That's tomorrow. I knew it was this week. I didn't know which day. Yeah, so he's busy right now.
Yeah. You could probably message him next week.
Yeah, we'll get him to talk about it next week. But he did that. He had a couple of these PFs that came out, super high demand, so he ran a couple ads and sold out real quick. Dead man walking.
Yeah, you're definitely right about the Twisty Pets or whatever. I'm looking up all the one at the store I was at yesterday that I seen them at. Like, and there, like I said, there was a ton of them, and none of them are popping up at all. Like 0 for that store, all combined.
Yeah. I just don't think they're registering it for some reason. Daniel asks, what is the latest I can send stuff in for Christmas or Black Friday? I want to say, because Amazon will give you dates on like when you should ship stuff out. If you're new to Amazon, here's the biggest pain in the butt to keep an eye out for mentally for Q4. And if I see, like, I'm going to delete any comments and I'm going to delete any posts that I see complaining about shipping times. Let me just put that out there. I've ran groups for 3 years, and every year we see the same stuff. You have to mentally be ready. Your stuff is going to take 2, sometimes 3 weeks to check into Amazon. That's part of Q4. It's part of the grind. You've got to accept it. So right now should be the time that you're shipping all of your Black Friday stuff in. I will say the latest, let me pull up my calendar. 2 weeks is about average. Just plan on your stuff taking 2 weeks to ship in from now on, especially closer to like mid-December. If you send stuff in the second week of December, unless you're sending it to a warehouse in the same state, you're not going to hit Christmas. So you want to get your stuff in ASAP. For Black Friday, I would ship out, because that's 1, 2, I would ship out before like the 10th of November if you want to be on the safe side to get Black Friday, Cyber Monday ready. And then December, really, if you can, shoot for like December like 1st, go through like December 5th or something like that. That'll give you a good solid 2.5 weeks to get your stuff in. I would shoot for like December 5th at the latest to get all of your main stuff. Now, I've definitely had stuff where I do a shipment on like December 15th and it goes to a really close warehouse and it's active by Christmas. That happens. But just so you guys are mentally ready, I want you to just plan on 2 to 3 weeks shipping. Because that's typically what's going to happen. Because the reason why it takes so long, it's not so much on the shipping side, because everyone thinks it's FedEx and UPS's fault. While they are busier than usual, what happens is you've got this warehouse that Amazon receives their products. You've got all these semi trucks, these freights that are showing up multiple times every single hour to these warehouses. The trucks literally have to sit and wait outside. Some of them have to wait literally all day until they can unload to Amazon's warehouse because they have employees in there picking all the stuff out of the trucks, and they can only move so fast because they don't have so much room to work with. And that's where the holdup is. So if you get Q4 shipments coming in and I would love to know stats on how many trucks they get per day. It's got to be mind blowing. But that's where the holdup is. It's not so much on the shipping time itself. It's on the checking in side because they've just got thousands and thousands of products being checked in every hour. And these semi-truck drivers, I've talked to a couple of them. They literally are told to sit outside and wait. So we've seen where freight companies will actually cancel contracts with Amazon because they don't want to sit outside the warehouse. So they will no longer pick up Amazon shipments. I've seen that happen with freight companies before.
That's what I do at my job. I'm a receiver, so I know
okay.
So I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can only imagine what they do because you guys sending stuff in. They're restocking their stuff with the trailers. Just unload a trailer, takes an hour with the jack and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a couple of people anyone on YouTube see last night we had some Amazon workers in there, or ex-Amazon workers. I need to pick their brain and see. I just want to know how many trucks show up every day. It's just got to be crazy.
It would have to be like, out of UPS and stuff like that. I mean, or you're probably talking at least 100 to 150
Oh,
trucks
yeah.
a day per warehouse, plus all the other different FedEx and then their deliveries and stuff like that. Which
Yep.
they would have to have like at least 50 docks to put out to be able to bring all the trucks in all the time.
Gretchen said maybe next week you want to touch base on merchant filling and all the boxes you need to check so you don't lose your shirt. Yeah, we'll talk about merchant filling stuff in the coming weeks. And then Daniel asked, so just price everything high now and wait till Black Friday. That is completely up to you. If you have capital and you don't mind your stuff sitting, you can totally wait and get the best bang for your buck, your best ROI after Black Friday. But if you can't afford to just put all of your capital out there and have it tied up for the next month, I definitely recommend you just sell stuff as is right now, even if it's a few bucks per unit. Just keep quick flipping right now and stockpiling. And then I would hold out on the really good stuff. Like we know the unicorns are going to do well, so price high on those, and I'm willing to sit on those a little bit longer. But for the most part, you would just want to churn your product. They've got more shipments coming in. They got more waves of products. So they're not going to – it's too early for them to run out of Twisty Pets or anything like that. That will happen. There will hit a cutoff time where the distributors are no longer in stock and Walmart and Target can't get anymore. That's what happened last year with fingerlings. But right now it's still early in the game, so there's going to be plenty of waves of product coming out. So I would just keep flipping stuff right now. The good stuff you can hold out to until Black Friday if you have the capital and the patience to wait that far. All right, crew. We are going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, much appreciated for investing your time into this. Of course, these are always recorded, so if you're watching this live and you want to re-watch it, take notes. It will be posted inside of the group files. Welcome to all the new members. If this was the first time you were here live, welcome. If it's the first time that you were watching the recording, welcome to you as well. We'll be doing a lot of cool content in the next couple weeks, getting you guys all situated, ready for Black Friday, get you ready for Christmas, and even after that. Matt brought up in the chat too, Christmas time. Everyone thinks that Q4 goes up until Christmas Day and then it's like back to regularly scheduled entertainment. No, Christmas sales go throughout the end of January. And they can, depending on your product, trickle into February too. Because Amazon is selling gift cards. Imagine how many people are buying Amazon gift cards as presents for people. And they get to spend them in January. So sales are just as good, if not a little bit better in some cases, in January as they are in December too. So always keep that in mind. Martin said Halloween candy on sale. There's going to be post-seasonal talk on swiping up some good deals. We'll get Matt in here and talk more about that next time. But aside from that, quick note, next week, I completely spaced until earlier today. Next week is actually Halloween on Wednesday. So we will not be having a regular Wednesday call. I will be doing some Facebook Live videos to compensate for that and get you guys some info. And then the week after that, we will be having a guest speaker. I think the next 2 weeks after that, I've got guest speakers lined up for you guys too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But thank you, as always. I appreciate your time. Have an amazing night. We'll see you next time. Peace out, crew.